Instagrid GO is a battery-based portable power supply designed to replace traditional generators wherever possible. It can be used to run any kind of 120-volt device, from demanding tools in construction like welders, core drills, and cut-off saws to power-hungry lighting equipment and more during events or film productions. It has a sturdy frame that allows one-handed transportation and protects it from external effects. In case of any deformation, the frame can be swapped without needing to send the product in for service. How to use Instagrid GO. Turn the rotary switch to the discharge position. The LEDs will light up green and indicate the state of charge. Each LED segment represents 12.5% of charge. Make sure to always turn the unit on before plugging in a device. Connect a device to one of the two NEMA 520 output sockets in the middle, or to the Instagrid accessory outlet at the bottom left. Both 20-amp NEMA sockets can be used simultaneously. During operation, the LED segments will fade from bright to dark, one after the other. The LED at the far left will only stay fully bright or start blinking in case of low charge. When you no longer need to use the unit anymore, unplug the device and put your Instagrid GO into transport mode. How to charge Instagrid GO. Turn the rotary switch to the charge position in the middle. In this mode, the output sockets are turned off and the unit can only use incoming power to charge the battery modules inside. Connect the cable to the charging input and the mains power. The unit will take up to 3.5 hours to fully recharge and indicate the state of charge by pulsing LED segments. Instagrid GO requires an AC current with an input power of 6 ampere and an input voltage between 100 and 136 volts for charging. It is not possible to charge and discharge the device at the same time. The Instagrid GO LED patterns and colors. There are different possible LED patterns depending on the operation mode of the unit. Charging mode. A green pulsing animation from left to right indicates that Instagrid GO is charging normally. If the internal temperature is slightly outside the allowed charging range of 32 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, the charging process is automatically interrupted. A solid green light indicates that the internal temperature is slightly too high for charging. Blinking yellow lights indicate that the internal temperature is slightly too low for charging. In both cases, charging continues automatically once the temperature returns to the allowed range. If the internal temperature significantly exceeds or drops below the allowed range of 32 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, a red blinking light appears and charging stops. In this case, the device will not resume charging automatically. You will need to restart the charging process manually once the temperature has returned to the allowed range. A solid yellow light indicates poor input power quality. Check your power source, make sure it meets the required specifications, and restart the charging process. Discharging mode. During normal operation, a solid green light shows the state of charge. During use, LED segments gradually turn off, indicating a declining charge. A blinking yellow light indicates that the internal temperature is approaching the maximum allowed limit. The device continues to operate normally, but you should take action to reduce the temperature. If the internal temperature rises further, Instagrid GO will shut down and indicate with red blinking lights that the maximum temperature limit has been exceeded. A red blinking light also appears, and the unit will not start if you try to turn it on while its internal temperature is below -4 degrees Fahrenheit. You can reset both temperature alarms by bringing the internal temperature back within the allowed range of -4 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit by turning the unit off, reducing the load, or moving it to a suitable ambient temperature environment. In case of an output overload caused by the load, a solid red light is shown. Unplug the load, turn the unit off for 60 seconds, and turn it on again. If this happens repeatedly, reduce the load or check the connected equipment for damage. If the unit shows yellow or red light repeatedly when you try to turn it on or during use, please contact Instagrid support. Transporting Instagrid GO. Before transporting Instagrid GO, it is recommended to activate transport mode by turning the rotary switch to the left position with the lock symbol. In transport mode, the internal battery modules are separated into individual units of less than 100 watt-hours each. This is a recommendation, not a requirement. Depending on how the unit is transported, different regulations may apply. There are two scenarios to distinguish: transporting the unit in a private or company vehicle and shipping the unit via a commercial carrier. These regulations define the required state of the device during transport, any necessary markings or labels, limits on the number of units that may be transported, and whether charging or discharging during transport is permitted. For complete and official information, please refer to the dedicated transport document. This document can be requested from the Instagrid support team at support.us@instagrid.com.